What financial milestone are you chasing right now? A number in your portfolio? Paying off the mortgage? Maxing out your 401k? These feel like the right goals, but research keeps revealing something uncomfortable. Most people are building wealth in an order that maximizes stress instead of minimizing it. I'm Matured, and today I want to walk through why the way most people build wealth is quietly backwards, and what the data says actually works instead. Here's the mistake almost everyone makes. They chase net worth first. They watch their investment account, celebrate hitting round numbers, and treat every dollar the same, whether it's locked in a 401k or sitting in checking. But a dollar you can't touch for 30 years does not solve the problem you have this month, and most people's day-to-day financial stress has almost nothing to do with their net worth. It has to do with margin. Margin is simply the gap between what you earn and what you spend. Not your income alone, not your net worth alone, the space between them. And that space is what actually buys you options. A recent survey found that 72% of Americans said they'd be happier saving or investing more, while only 21% said spending more would make them happier. Even households earning $250,000 or above said the same thing. It's not about how much you make, it's about how much room you've built underneath it. Think of margin in bands. At 0 to 5% of income saved, you're operating with almost no buffer, and that's a high-stress place to live, regardless of your salary. At 10 to 20%, most people describe genuine relief. At 20 to 30%, you start building real optionality, the ability to leave a job, change cities, or take a risk. Above 40%, people often describe something close to actual freedom, even without an exceptional income. Most people build wealth by maximizing the number in the account and ignoring the percentage that's actually usable. That's mistake number one. Mistake number two is treating all debt the same. Debt isn't inherently good or bad. The real question is whether it's structured or whether it's stressful. A fixed-rate mortgage with a payment you can comfortably make, or business debt that produces cash flow, barely dents your happiness at all. But revolving credit card balances, buy now, pay later traps, or a home equity line drawn down to fund lifestyle upgrades, these create a fixed monthly claim on your future income. And that claim is what actually erodes quality of life. It's entirely possible for someone earning $300,000 with a jumbo mortgage, 2 car payments, and a credit card that never quite clears to feel more financially trapped than someone earning half that with a modest mortgage and almost no consumer debt. Most people build wealth while quietly increasing this exact kind of pressure. Bigger house, bigger car, bigger obligations, right alongside their bigger paycheck. Mistake number 3 is chasing income far past the point where it actually helps. Early research suggested emotional well-being plateaued around $75,000 a year. More recent work shows it keeps climbing, but the gains slow dramatically. The real inflection point isn't a specific number, it's the moment you can absorb a surprise $10,000 expense, a medical bill, a car repair, without it destabilizing everything. Below that point, more income genuinely helps. Above it, the returns shrink fast, unless you also have low fixed obligations and real liquidity sitting underneath the income. And that brings us to the piece almost everyone underbuilds: liquid reserves. Most people overestimate how much a big portfolio milestone will make them feel secure, and underestimate how much simple, accessible cash does the same job. A household with $1.2 million in home equity, $800,000 in a 401k, and $8,000 in checking looks objectively strong on paper. But someone with $300,000 invested and $60,000 in accessible savings often sleeps far better at night, because they can absorb a shock without borrowing against their future. One widely cited study found that having just $2,000 in liquid, accessible savings produced the same happiness boost as crossing into 7-figure net worth. For most working adults, having $25,000 to $100,000 sitting in reach may do more for daily peace of mind than another $500,000 locked away until retirement. Mistake number 4 is spending in the wrong categories entirely, or not giving yourself permission to spend at all. Spending genuinely does buy happiness. It just does so unevenly. Time-buying purchases, hiring help with childcare or cleaning, cutting your commute show strong lasting effects. Health spending, better sleep, therapy, fitness, pays off similarly. Relational spending, vacations, shared meals, family experiences, has durable returns that don't fade. Compare that to the categories people typically use to signal success: the oversized house, the luxury car, the status upgrade. These produce a real boost, but it fades within months, a phenomenon researchers call hedonic adaptation, while the payment attached to it sticks around indefinitely. Before spending, the useful question isn't, "Can I afford this?" It's whether the purchase buys you time, health, or connection, or whether it buys you status and stuff, because the long-term return on those two categories is nowhere close to equal. So what does building wealth the right way actually look like? It starts with margin, not net worth, prioritizing the percentage of income you keep over the size of your paycheck. It means separating debt into structured versus stressful, and minimizing the second kind specifically, not debt in general. It means recognizing that income matters most only up until the point where you can absorb a real financial shock. And after that, liquidity and flexibility matter more than another raise. It means building real, accessible reserves before chasing another portfolio milestone. And it means spending intentionally on time, health, and relationships instead of status, even while you're still building wealth, not waiting until some arbitrary number to start living well. None of this requires a high income to fix. It requires reordering your priorities. Most people build wealth by stacking net worth first and hoping the stress resolves itself later. It rarely does, because the stress was never really about the number. It was about margin, structured debt, liquidity, and where your spending actually goes. Fix those four, and the number in your account stops being the thing carrying your quality of life. It becomes what it was supposed to be all along: a byproduct of a life that already feels like it's working.